So, movements of the spine and how to train, strengthen, or try to help with back problems. So, you've got flexion of the spine. That's think about forward flexion is touch your toes, or sit ups, or crunches, or what have you. Lateral flexion is flexion to the side. Think about bringing that bottom rib towards the hip bone. Extension, that is now the opposite. We're trying to extend the spine, push, pushing the head and shoulders behind you. Rotation, self explanatory, really. Twisting of the eyes, chest, belly button. Stability or anti rotation, that's resisting movement. And then, not a lot of people talk about this, but compression and decompression. While sure, you can't really observe that movement very well, I think we go through the day in a state of compression, and most training is compressive in nature. And then you've got this cap. So I do spend a lot of time talking about decompression and extension. I find those are things that tend to be avoided and or not trained, and those are things that we could really work on. So sets, reps, time, where, when. I've had really good success doing one or two sets, 8 to 10 reps, or like 20, 30 seconds, either in the warm up or at the end of a workout, right in with your core. At the end of the day, core training is the torso. This is just movements of the torso. I find if I'm going to have like a really heavy spinal loading day, like if we're doing heavy squats or deadlifts or so on, we'll do some low back strength stuff to start the workout. We'll do some decompression, hanging movements at the end. So all that being said, let's get into the movements themselves. Use this more of a library or a catalog than something set in stone. You can do all these movements every day straight through and through, but it's going to take you 25 minutes. Pick 3 or 4, throw them in there. Find the ones you like, find the ones you dislike, and we'll go from there. So we're going to start down on the ground, face down. These are called prone opposites. Think about lifting your opposite arm and opposite leg off of the ground. A little bit of low back strength. We're into lower body crawl. So I'll show you this from the side in a second, or from the front. So hands out in a T. Hover that knee off the ground and try to bring that knee as close to the elbow as you can. Here we are. Notice I'm not dragging that leg across the ground. Then we'll go into scorpion. Arms out in T. Try to keep the shoulders down best you can. Opposite hand over the back, or opposite foot to the opposite hand. This is going to be cobra and down dog. So I'll show you this from the side again. You can add a little bit of movement here. And this is down dog. Think about hips to the ground, hips to the sky. And start out, you can go knees on the ground, but the goal would be to keep the knees just slightly off of the ground. Just mobilizing that spine a little bit. Next up, you can see someone said something to me. So, big toes together, knees apart, sink the hips down and back. This will be a good low back stretch for the lats. Again, you can introduce a little bit of movement here, left to right. Next up, hands and knees. This is your thoracic or T-spine. Reach through and rotate. Eyes follow that hand. And then open it up. So I really like these. These are called spinal roll-ups. Lay on your back. Bring your feet up overhead to the sky. And as far overhead as you can. The goal will be to touch the ground. Work your way to it. And I'm going to show you a couple of varieties. You can get up into a full squat. You can kind of do a sit up or touch your toes. You can go up into a single leg stance. You can roll up into a butterfly. We're right into it. So we got some more thoracic spine movement. So half kneeling, knee up, that's closest to the wall. These are called open books or openers. Keep that inside hand against the wall, open it up. We'll go right into rainbows here. Similar concept with thoracic spine. Eyes are going to follow the hand still. And try to keep that hand the back of your hand against the wall at all times. So notice I come up, over, turn the hand over, and keep going. Next up, we've got a band sequence. So tie a band about chest level. You can do a pull to the chest, pull to the face, pull to the forehead. Here, we're going bend your knees, hinge hips back a little bit, straight arm pull downs. Then we'll go single arm diagonal row. These are all for the low back as well, the lats. Just gonna show you that on both hands here. And we'll get into a little bit of lateral flexion here. Set yourself about a foot from the wall. Scoot away as needed. Half kneeling again. Knee up as closest to the wall. And your goal is to bring the rib cage down to the spine, or the rib cage down to the hip, and try to touch that wall as low as you can. You can walk the hands down like I do right here, then retrace as far over as you can. These next ones are called kneeling lean backs or reverse Nordics. So again, about a foot from the wall, hips forward is the goal. And you're looking at extending that low back. See how there's a big arch there, my low back? Reach, touch the wall. We can walk down that wall and then back up. Start light, start easy. You can do a single arm variation. You can hold a weight either close to the chest or up overhead as well for modification. Very similar to a kneeling version. Now we're just going standing. Goal is hips forward, up on the toes. Try to touch that wall. Reach towards the wall. Notice I lose my balance here a couple times. That's okay. So here we go. Walk down that wall and then back up, retracing. This one's a really fun one. So down to a crab walk or a crab crawl position. And what I'm looking for is reach one hand up over to the side, up onto the toes, hips come up, extend that spine. A couple of things I didn't show in this video. Not going to record myself doing every single thing under the sun. Handstands or handstand variations. So if you can do a handstand, great. A wall supported one. If not, what you can do is you can take a box, a 24-inch box, put your feet up on that, and slowly raise that up until you are almost entirely vertical. Maybe work into a one leg support and possibly zero eventually. If you can do a full handstand, great. Hanging variations, pull-ups, chin-ups, knee tucks, toes to bar. Really anything that gets you hanging up on a bar is going to do a great job of unloading or decompressing that spine. Rotational movements of the spine, and then stability movements. I think we do a pretty good job generally of getting those into our workouts. You know, for stability, I'm talking planks, side planks, leg lifts or leg lift holds, paddle off presses, any of that stuff. Keep doing those. Take these movements here and just sprinkle them in and see if that is going to help with some spinal issues.